we will look at website interfaces. First, let me give you a brief overview of how web design has evolved in the last 30 years. This is one of the first websites that was launched in the early 1990s. As you can see that early websites were basic, using vertically structured text-heavy pages with very few graphics. People quickly adapted to scrolling vertically and using eye-catching blue underlined hypertext to navigate the virtual web space. While the function of early websites was purely informational, they have some design elements that can still apply today. Most importantly, these old websites were really lightweight because they were optimized for the slow internet connection. This design consideration take user experience into account, and this is something today's websites often don't remember because some of these websites are difficult to download even without fast internet connection. So, first rule is always design lightweight websites. By the mid-90s, web design had evolved both in terms of structure and appearance. Designers began to use table-based layouts to organize their content, allowing for greater flexibility and creativity. Sites were still quite text-heavy, but this text could now be divided into columns, rows, and other navigational elements. Graphic design elements were also growing in popularity. Page hit counters, animated text, and dancing GIFs were just a few graphical elements that marked this period in web design. So what can we learn from this era? Obviously, the importance of page structure, importance of knowing how different elements could be positioned in different sections of web pages, so information can be presented to the user in the best way. They also started presenting users with a navigation bar, the side navigation, which is still important in today's websites. One of the flaws of this web design was the table technology behind the website, which made these web pages very difficult to download. Moreover, some design sins were still being made by the designers. As you can see, this website is too flashy, uses too many colors, and still it's quite difficult to navigate because it gives users too many choices. In late 1990s, web design experienced a rebirth with the introduction of Flash. Flash opened up a world of design possibility that weren't possible with basic HTML. It aimed at merging virtual graphics and interactions. Structure and navigation became important considerations, and design began to zero in on appearance and usability. The biggest sin of this design was just the technology behind it, although the design itself, as you can see, was quite attractive and user-friendly. In early 2000, Flash had completely disappeared, and this era is known as the era of enlightenment for web design. There was an increasing emphasis on using white spaces and decreased the use of garish colors like neons. Things began to be attached to icons rather than just text. Resolution and pixelation became more important concerns and considerations over the placement of content. Overall, it was a period when usability started to become more important than other design elements. In early 2010s, designers learned that they don't have to put too much content on the website, but think about putting information more intuitively and visually accentuating links and using just straightforward navigation. Designers were thinking about aesthetic changes, including better color distribution, increasing use of icons, and greater attention to typography. In modern websites, we see proliferation of minimalism, flat graphics, blended typography, and large background images. In addition, UX has taken center stage, giving way to such design features as infinite scrolling and single page design. Another feature of today's website is responsive design, which means that websites are able to adapt themselves to the device and browser, which makes the user experience seamless. These days, we can find many books and guidelines on website design. Today, I want to talk about a principle of interaction design that goes a long way in making users feel confident, comfortable, and in control. It's called predictability. Predictability means that all aspects of the interaction design should set accurate expectations about what will happen before the user taps, swipes, or clicks on something. Predictability in interaction design can be measured pretty easily. Ask yourself if users will be able to answer these questions. Where am I? How did I get here? What can I do here? Where can I go from here? If you can drop a person into the depths of a site and ask these questions and get correct answer to all four, then you have provided a strong sense of place, set the correct expectations, and made it possible for users to accurately predict the outcomes of their interactions. One way to improve predictability of a site is by incorporating breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs are category labels that enable users to look at other pages without losing track of where they have come from. It enables one-click access to higher site levels. So for example, this breadcrumb here shows that the user started their journey from the home page, then they moved on to the smart home page, then smart lighting, then smart lights page, and finally product information. Now, if the user wants to jump back to the smart home page, all they have to do is click here. Breadcrumbs are very attractive for first-time visitors to continue to browse a website having viewed the landing page. These days, designers have to make decisions between making their websites easy to navigate versus aesthetically pleasing and enjoyable. As you remember, last time we looked at KLM website. Although the purpose of the website is to book flights for your travel, it is very easy to get lost in the experience. But that's necessary for some brands to increase their sales and attract customers. Another thing that web designers need to be aware of is that they should not try to make their websites like a product brochure. When users are surfing the websites, they're actually going to look at your page at a very fast rate, and they are not going to spend too much time reading what's written there. That's why it's very important to determine how to brand a web page to catch and keep users on it for a long enough time.